it going? And welcome back to another episode of Mood for Feud. I'm your host Katya, and today I am in the mood for news. We have got some trending topics to run through from the last couple of weeks. And as I promised last episode, I did try to pick topics that are fun or lighthearted, nothing too serious or, nothing about anyone committing crimes, yada yada. We are keeping things fun and fresh on Mood for Feud today, especially after quite intense coverage of the Anna Paul, Attis Paul, Michaela Testa fiasco. I think we need a palate cleanse, or at least I need one, and I thought maybe everyone else would appreciate one too. So I've pulled a couple stories from the last couple weeks. Yeah, they're all fun. Remember, if you enjoy the show and would like to support it, then please do leave a rating. You can leave comments on Spotify, written reviews on Apple Podcast, and you can follow the show so you never miss an episode. I'm also on socials at Mood for Feud, and I'm always looking to chat pop culture, so send me a message there. How's everyone going? I hope everyone had a great Easter. I've had a very lovely long weekend. I've nearly hit that point now where I'm sweeted out, which means that I've done my job this Easter. By Easter Monday, if I'm still craving chocolate, I've done something wrong. So we are on track. We are tracking well with Easter celebrations, and I hope that everyone else is having a fantastic Easter weekend as well, whether you celebrate Easter or not. I hope you have some time off work to enjoy. Okay, the first trending topic I want to talk about is kind of a feud, not really though, but it is the Charli XCX and Green Day drama. It feels weird even calling it that. Banter. I think it's banter. The Charli XCX and Green Day banter are from Coachella. So, oh my gosh. Basically what happened is at Coachella, Green Day was headlining and Charli XCX was seen wearing a sash, one of those beauty pageant sashes, and it said, "Miss should be headliner." It's a joke, right? I mean, I feel silly even explaining that, but it's a joke. Some people online were kind of upset with her for this though. They were like, why is she coming for Green Day? Why does Charli XCX think she's better than Green Day? What's Green Day ever done for her? First of all, let's pause. I don't think she was coming for Green Day specifically. I think it doesn't matter who was headlining on that stage. She would have worn the sash because it's just about her not being the headliner, and it's not her saying, I'm better than Green Day. I don't know. Some of the ways that I saw people reacting to this online, it was as if she stood up on stage and was like, Green Day are the devil. This is how people were acting. And it was just such a minor joke. I think everyone can agree Green Day makes good music. I don't think anyone's mad at them for headlining. I don't even think Charli's mad at them for headlining. It feels so silly to explain a joke like this, but people were also saying Green Day at least uses their platform to speak up about social issues, which is true. They've really been quite vocal and using their time as a headlining act at Coachella to talk about Palestine and to criticize the Trump administration, which I love. Hell yes, so on board for all of that. But to be why does someone singing about cocaine deserve to be on the stage more than someone actually talking about social issues? I don't know. It seemed a bit of a stretch. It seemed a bit too far the way that people were discussing this. Now, thankfully, Green Day got the joke, realized it wasn't anything serious. So Trey Cool, he actually made a really budget homemade sash that he was wearing backstage, which said actual headliner, which is so fun and so iconic. And Charli herself actually commented on this photo and said obsessed. And then Billie Joe Armstrong also wore a hat that said Brat, obviously a reference to Charli XCX's album. So it was fun. It was a fun little bit of friendly riffing and harmless banter, but it really just confirmed to me what we already knew, which is that joking around is dead on the internet. In the chronically online community, there is no such thing as a harmless joke. Everything is serious, nothing is fun, and I'm so tired of it. I've been feeling this way for some time now, where it's why can't we have fun? And I'm not being one of those people who's back in my day, we could make jokes without getting cancelled. It's not about that, right? Because there's jokes that are hurtful and harmful to a community. And then there's jokes like this, which are actually fine. I just feel like we can't discern between them online. It's really frustrating. Like, why was Charli XCX nearly fucking cancelled over wearing a sash? It's so ridiculous. And like, thank fuck the Green Day people were like cool enough to lean into it and kind of be like, hey, we're all good. Like, everyone chill the fuck out. So yeah, anyway, I thought that was so funny. Speaking about Charli XCX, there's also been a little bit of feuding going on between Kelley. She is the TikTok creator who came up with the dance to Charli's song Apple, and it got very famous. I think Charli herself performed it on stage. I think Kelley was invited to the VMAs. Like, it was a whole moment. And she's been in a legal battle with Roblox because Roblox obtained the rights to use Charli's music and likeness for the in-game concert in Dress to Impress. They obtained all that last year, and then recently they used the dance that Kelley created for the song Apple as an emote on Roblox. And they did all this before they had actually legally obtained the rights to do that. I don't really know how things like TikTok dances work in terms of intellectual property, but I just don't see any reason as to why they shouldn't be treated as intellectual property, especially because there is such a clear owner of the dance in this situation. It's really, you can trace back where the choreography came from. And I just find it weird because it sounds like they were already in talks of sorting out all that legal drama. And then Roblox was like, well, we can't wait any longer, so let's just push it out. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's so strange to me. Why would you not just wait a little bit longer and get all the right signatures and stuff? So Kelley's team estimate that Roblox has so far made $123,000 using the Apple dance. And that's also insane and wild to me. But yeah, I don't know. Is it just because it's from TikTok that people are like, meh, it's not that big a deal, like it's just a little 30-second dance, who cares? But yeah, I thought this was very interesting. I'm keen to see how this ends up and whether Roblox ends up having to pay Kelley some money for using her choreography in the game. I don't know. It also makes me think a little bit about the use of pop culture and TikTok trending things in commercial spaces. I don't know a better way to say this, but you know, I feel like since TikTok, there's just been a lot of like memes making their way into marketing campaigns for brands, and something about it just sits funny with me because I'm kind of like, well, this is our thing and it wasn't made for you to make money off of. I'm okay with Kelley making bank from the choreography. That's not what I'm talking about. But it's like, why does Roblox need to have this TikTok dance as an emoji? Like, why is that so important? It's kind of also how I felt, for example, when Taylor Swift released All Too Well, the music video, and there was that red scarf, and then suddenly there was like a Pack and Save, shout out if you're from New Zealand, a Pack and Save commercial, and the mascot is wearing a red scarf, and I was just like, I don't know, it's not for you. It's not for Pack and Save is a supermarket chain, I should say. Sometimes when TikTok things, like very mindful, very demure, that was another one where brands like jumped on it and suddenly we had like very demure, everyone using that. Something about that makes me feel weird. It like, let me know if you agree or if I'm just fucking, if I'm having a moment. I'm not trying to be gatekeepy, but at the same time, I guess I am. It's just like, the internet was made to be fun and made to be for us normies. We have our little inside jokes on there, and when brands start using these inside jokes and stuff to push a product, to make money, to, you know, further the capitalist agenda, whatever you want to call it, that's when I'm kind of like, oh, you're ruining it. You're ruining this. And again, nothing to do with the creators, because the creator who came up with very mindful, very demure as well, was able to use the money generated from that and the income to do all sorts of cool things for themselves and their family. So I'm not against the actual people commodifying their viral moments, but it's when brands use it to try be relatable or try be like us. That's when I'm kind of like, would love to know what you guys think about all that. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is Lana Del Rey's new music. So on 11th of April, Lana released Henry Come On. In true Lana fashion, the album art for this single looks like she made it in 10 seconds on Canva. Obsessed, you know. We love a low budget queen. all of her album art from the last 3 to 4 years has looked like this, so I don't know why people were still shocked. She then also came out with a little video explaining that her album wasn't coming out on time. Again, we're not surprised. I think her album was meant to come out next month. Nobody's shocked, Queen. I'm surprised she even gave us a statement and let us know. And she also says the album name has changed again. I think originally, as in like years and years ago, the album was going to be called Lasso, and then she announced the name had changed to The Right Person Will Stay, and now the name has changed again, which I'm not mad about. I feel like Lasso could have been fun, although I will admit I wasn't like chomping at the bit for a country album, to be honest. But The Right Person Will Stay, I was like, it's meh. It's a meh name. It's not quite Chemtrails Over the Country Club. I'm glad she's changing the name. I'm hoping she's changing it to something better. And then on the 18th of April, she also released the song Bluebird. Again, we've got another Canva created album art to go with it. Do I like the songs? Yes, I like the songs. I think they're nice to listen to. I love Lana Del Rey's voice, obviously, so anything she sings, I'm going to enjoy. Are they going to be my favorite Lana songs? No. Probably not. And I am a little bit concerned because she did say in her video that the track Henry Come On is like the heart of her album, which I was like, interesting, because it wasn't anything groundbreaking. For Bluebird, she did explain how she came up with the song and the melody, and she said she was in her bedroom and someone who she had been seeing for a while, but they hadn't like seen each other recently, so maybe someone from her past called her up and invited her to go on a walk with them, and she wasn't that keen to go, but she did say, okay, fine, I'll go. And when she hung up, a bird flew into her window. This is just that type of shit where you've just fucked up bad, when the universe has to send you a whole ass bird to be like, why did you just do what you just did? So anyway, this bird flies into her window, she holds it, and she says, little bird, bluebird, fly away for the both of us. And that's kind of where that lyric comes from, which is a beautiful lyric. I will always say Lana Del Rey's lyrics will always be good. I will always love her lyrics, even if the current song vibe she's giving isn't what I'm feeling at the time. Anyway, that's the whole just witch things, I feel like. Just a day in the life of a witch. I think she says in the end the bird actually managed to fly off, but she like held it for ages and was singing to it, blah blah. She still went on the walk. This is the crazy thing. She's saying all this and she's like, and I had this whole spiritual moment, and then I went on my walk. Why would you still go on the walk? She's lucky the car didn't crash on the way there. If I'm getting messages like this, yeah, there's no way. Long story short, she said the walk was a mistake. She didn't enjoy it. She didn't like where it went. Yeah, who was she walking with? Conspiracy theorists will say it was Father John Misty. I'm kind of like here for that. And she said it happened a couple years ago, so it's not anyone recent. But who came crawling back for a walk? Now, the other thing I felt while watching her deliver these story times and stuff is, where is Lana? Because I know she's in her alligator tour guide, living in the bayou era, but she just seems like a completely different person. She's kind of talking a bit differently. Her mannerisms seem really different to me. A lot of people in the comments are like, it's the Ozempic, and I'm like, the Ozempic explains the weight loss, but it doesn't explain everything else. Her whole vibe was so different. I was like, what is going on? I feel like Lana Del Rey is dead and we are now dealing with Eleanor Dufrene. I just felt like she was missing some of that Lana spark, that Lana sass, I even went and watched some videos of her talking about Norman fucking Rockwell when that album came out, and I love the way she's talking in that, and she has so much pizzazz in her personality, and I feel like it's missing. So I don't know if part of that's just being a married woman, settling down, whatever. I don't know if that's the Jeremy Dufresne influence of it all. I've seen rumblings online that he's a bit of a Trumpy, which is disappointing. But yeah, I don't know if it's all that. I would love to have the old Lana back though. Based on these two songs, I don't know how I'm feeling about the new album, if I'm being honest. And this might be the first time that I've just felt meh about a Lana Del Rey album. So it is sad. Eleanor Dufrene killed Lana Del Rey. The next thing I want to talk about is Tate McRae. What is going on? Speaking of pop girlies that I'm disappointed in. Morgan Wallen announced that Tate McRae was going to be featuring on his next album. And this collab is so random to me. And admittedly, I don't really follow Tate McRae insanely close, you know? I don't keep up with her every second of every day. Is this not a little bit left field? I felt like I was surprised by this. Now, Morgan Wallen, he's had a bunch of different controversies. The ones that I remember is a video that came out of him using a racial slur, which he then apologized for, but I think it did cause him to get dropped by his current label. He's also just had charges of being violent whilst intoxicated. From what I remember, not like, I don't think he's like physically fighting people, but he's like endangering people by throwing shit around, you know, that type of violent. And I think he's also had some DUIs. Anyway, he seems like a bit of a mess. He also seems just like someone who I wouldn't really get along with. His music is out of my realm of what I listen to. I don't really keep up with Morgan Wallen either. But recently he had that really awkward Saturday Night Live episode where he was the musical guest, and at the end when him and Mikey Madison are like saying the goodbye for the end credits, he storms off the stage. Like, he doesn't stay around to do the little hugs and shit on stage. Like, why could he not just keep it together for an extra 30 seconds? No, he had to go walk off. And then he posted the photo of the plane saying, "Take me to God's country, like get me out of New York," or whatever. Anyway, he's just a bit cringe and he's a bit of a baby, if I'm being honest, and I don't really like him. Why would Tate McRae right now, where all of this is happening with the SNL thing, Take Me to God's Country, whatever, why would you choose to collaborate with Morgan Wallen now? This just seems wild to me. She announced it by posting a photo of a hockey jersey with the initials MW. So that's how it was all teased. And everyone in the comments was like, oh my God, it's a Morgan Wallen collab. It's a Morgan Wallen collab. My dummy ass was like, I think she's just being fucking funny. I don't think she's actually collaborating with him, because in my mind, why would you do that? Being in the position that Tate is in right now, she is, in my mind, up and coming. You know, Sports Car was pretty successful. That's when I really started taking notice of her. I liked the odd Tate McRae song before that, but Sports Car, I was like, oh, okay, I'm like willing to put you in my top 5 pop girls. But yeah, this is so strange to me, and it seems really counterintuitive. If we look at someone else who I think would be at a similar level of fame when it comes to pop music, is Addison Rae, in my mind. I feel like Addison and Tate are both kind of on the way up and are like right on the precipice of becoming really, really big. Addison's hanging out with Charli XCX, Troye Sivan, and Lorde. Like, yes, what an absolute dream blunt rotation. And then Tate is doing a Morgan Wallen I don't know. I was floored. I'll just say that. I didn't expect this. I was incredibly confused. Moving on to kind of, I guess, the antithesis of this show, which is feuds that have ended in the last couple weeks. So one is Madonna and Elton John. They announced that they have finally buried the hatchet. These two have been feuding for like decades, but it's one of those feuds where I was like, wait, how did it even start? Because I just know that they didn't get along, but I couldn't actually tell you the reason why. I went back and had a quick look. It feels like Elton John just had a bone to pick with Madonna for honestly no fucking reason at all. And please correct me if I am wrong with that opinion, because I am absolutely admitting that I don't know the ins and outs of this feud. But from what I could see, it was just like Elton coming for her for lip syncing, Elton coming for her for having no talent, for putting out bad music. And it's just like, Elton, what was your issue? Like, what was the problem? It felt really weird. Anyway, the good news is that they've buried the hatchet. Yay! Everything's fine. Which does make me happy, especially if a feud's been going on for decades. I think when you're older, you're kind of like, you know what? In the grand scheme of life, this little thing was actually unimportant, so let's move past it. And I'm always happy to hear when people, and despite this whole show being based on feuding, I am always happy when people stop feuding. And then the other two, this was actually way more unexpected in my mind, but Tish and Noah Cyrus, who are of course Miley Cyrus's mum and sister, they also did a TikTok video together confirming that their feud is over. And I don't want to get too much into the details of them feuding because I have a whole Cyrus family episode planned and all of the family drama, because my God, that family makes me so grateful for my own. And I don't want to be too shady about that, but that is genuinely how I feel. And I do want to go through and just cover all of those crazy family dynamics that are happening there. But let's just say I was not expecting Tish and Noah to to ever really make up in this lifetime, let alone so soon. In my mind, this is quite soon or quite fresh to when the feuding happened. I am a Capricorn though, so I like to hold on to my grudges really tight and carry them with me for decades and decades. So, you know, maybe this is the normal amount of time to forgive someone. But yeah, the feuding between them was crazy. So for it to be over now, I mean, I'm happy. Happy families all round. All right, the last trending topic I'll talk about is the Clueless revival. So Clueless, of course, iconic film from the 90s, my go-to movie when I am at my most anxious self. I feel like it just really calms me down so easily. It's such a feel-good film. So in 2020, Peacock tried to revive Clueless as a TV show, and it wasn't going to have Cher, played by Alicia Silverstone, who's the main character and honestly kind of the heart and soul of the film. It wasn't going to have her character, and it was going to center on Cher's best friend Dion, who's also equally iconic, don't get me wrong. But the TV series never really took off, and I think it was canned. But now Peacock's bringing it back, this time with Alicia Silverstone playing Cher. So I feel like they've realized that having Clueless without Cher is kind of like having Harry Potter without Harry Potter. You know, it didn't really make sense. So I'm glad that they are going to have Cher in it this time. This is kind of, you know, we are right in the center, in the eye of the storm that is nostalgia bait, because we've got the Buffy the Vampire Slayer revival. I think Malcolm in the Middle is having its revival. Speaking of Harry Potter, they're remaking that as well, which that confuses me because I'm like, Harry Potter is still relevant to today's audience. It doesn't really need a revamp. Potter Talk was trending 4 years ago, right? It's obviously still resonating with a younger audience. That's off topic. But same with Clueless, I'm kind of like, how necessary is this? Because when I watch Clueless now, I'm never like, God, this movie's so old, I wish they had a modern version of like that. Never plays in my mind. And then the other thing is that part of what makes Clueless so fun for me to watch is because it's just so deliciously 90s. You know, it is, they've all got their little phones with the big antenna, and I just don't know how that whole thing is going to look in a modern context. I mean, if people start saying it's really good, I'll probably watch it, but I'm not excited about it. Maybe like a 20-minute skit. That is kind of all I would want, just to see Alicia Silverstone playing Cher again, and that would scratch my itch and I could move on. I don't know if I need a whole TV show about it though. Let me know what you think, and let me know how you feel in general about nostalgia content and the fact that every bit of media that's coming out at the moment is a sequel, a prequel, a remake, or a retelling or something. Because I understand why they're doing this, but then at the same time, it's not hitting for me. It's not hitting. And I want to be excited because I love Clueless, but yeah. Just quickly before I wrap up, speaking of media, wanting media that isn't a retelling or whatever, I have been watching Adolescence, which I think is on Netflix. And I know I'm like late to the game, but honestly, for me as a person, I'm actually early to the game. Normally, I wouldn't have watched this show until like 2027 because I have this habit of watching really popular things years and years later and then having no one to talk about it with. So the fact that I'm even watching it within the same, you know, within the same year is like a massive achievement for me. Round of applause. But oh my gosh, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It is so good. I'm only one episode in and I'm already recommending it to everyone, and everyone's like, yeah, I'm already watching it, because like, hello, I'm late. But watch Adolescence, guys, and then message me about it because I have so much to say, and I know that this forum isn't the right forum for it, but I am so happy to trade voice notes about it because my gosh, I think this is actually some of the best television that I've seen in this decade. Big claim to make, but yeah, it's gonna win so many Emmys, right? Like, I can already tell from the first episode, I was like, oh, you motherfuckers, like, you guys are gonna sweep at the Emmys. The way that you're doing everything, the way that it's filmed, the actors, the storyline, how topical it is. Yeah, anywho, watch Adolescence. That is my final call out to you all. All right, that's it for this week's bonus. Again, wanted to keep it light and fun and flirty and not too what's wrong with the world? Why was it so hard for me to find stories that weren't depressing? I don't know. Maybe I'm on a bad side of TikTok or my FYP is just not feeding me positive content lately. But when I went to sit down and talk about fun stories, yeah, my gosh, why was everything so doom and gloom? Anyway, the next episode I'm so excited for. It is going to be the last kind of roundup episode following the Michaela Testa Anna Attis drama, and I'm recording that one with an amazing guest, and I'm very, very excited for you all to hear it. It would have been out today, but your girl had a fucking technical boo-boo, so that will be coming out next week. And then after that, we will be back to some other feud content. I know this show's been very heavily documenting the Australian influencer drama, so we will be getting to some other content in the next couple of weeks, don't you worry. Don't forget to rate and review the podcast if you enjoy the show, and please feel free to leave a written review or comment. I love my words of affirmation, and you can connect with me on socials at Mood for Feud. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, I've got a link for that in the show notes, and all the funds collected will go towards upgrading my podcasting gear. I hope everyone is crushing their goals this week, and of course keeping out of trouble. Don't get into any feuds, and I will talk to you all next week. Bye!